This is the second attempt on President Trump's life. President Trump does not get the same type of security detail as Joe. At the very least, he should have the same identical protection as Joe. They don't want him to be president. Somebody asked me the other day, what is the first thing you pray about for President Trump? His safety. They don't want him to become president. All the so-called phony sympathy messages from Kamala are disingenuous. We have to protect President Trump. They're going to try again and again and again. His life is in jeopardy for the rest of his life. I'm sick of it. They want to destroy democracy. They want to take our freedom, our right to vote for this man away. They're afraid of him. What are we going to do about it? And give President Trump 24/7 protection around the clock. Hundreds of Secret Service, hundreds of FBI men. This is ridiculous. The strongest, the greatest country in the world, and we can't protect one man because you hate him? What happened to our democracy? God bless America. God.
Yes, I understand his frustrations. When I take a look at how people are feeling about this, it is extremely concerning. I don't get the point. What are people gaining by doing this? When it happened, oh, we are now doing investigation, this is happening. This is my very first time I'm witnessing this. If you want to defeat somebody, defeat in the polls. That is simple. All this attempt is uncalled for. The reasons you see him sounding like this, when I watched this video, I had to rethink, like, what is going on? If they have attempted in someone's life for the first time, you need to pay attention to it because there is something lacking. Yes. Why can't they figure out? Someone said, oh, they cannot give Trump that kind of protection because he is not the running president. That is what I saw on Twitter. I don't know me anything, but I can tweet. I want to know your thought.
Let me ask you, John Miller, what you're learning right now. And I know that Kristen and Randy were going through some of the details about the suspect who I just want to make sure everyone knows, since we are talking about the second assassination attempt, it appears in 9 weeks, that this individual is in custody. Right, the Secret Service engaged him. He tried to flee, but he is in custody. So they're able to question him. At least from my understanding, he hasn't said anything as of yet. But what are you learning from your sources about this individual and why he was there? To Kristen's point, if no one else knew Trump for sure was going to be in the state of Florida, never mind at Mar-a-Lago on the golf course, was he just sitting there every day waiting for this opportunity, or did he have some sort of information?
Well, what we know is Ryan Wesley Routh, who is a 58-year-old individual who has lived in Hawaii, has worked as a construction worker in North Carolina, is in Florida today in custody. He was arrested driving a car that was registered to what we believe is his daughter. And how did he know to be on that golf course, on that perimeter at that time on this day?
Yes, a lot of people are furious. Within the space of 2 months, we are witnessing this. Trump posted this recently. Breaking suspect in Trump as an attempt interview by the New York Times in 2023. Ryan, named by U.S. media as a suspect in the apparent assassination attempt on Trump, was interviewed by the New York Times in 2023. Who had no military experience, said he traveled to Ukraine to volunteer after Russia 2020 invasion, per New York Times. Chief White House correspondent Peter Becker source The Guardian. You can clearly see a lot of information have surfaced pertaining to this person linked to Ukraine, and different informations pertaining to that is surfacing like never before. There is something when issues like this is arising. I don't always like to report. I want to stay low to get the rightful information.
She also reported when he moves, it's a big cavalcade of cars. So if you see it going from one place to another, you can have an idea. But more relevantly, in today's age, and we experienced this in New York City, protecting presidents, where we would do something called an OTR, an off the record. It wasn't on the schedule. They would go to dinner at a place. It would be some private meeting where people spot that on social media and they put it out. So if he was in the area lingering for a long time, looking for that information, they'll have to go back through social media. And did somebody say, I'm on the golf course and Donald Trump is here?
Yes, when you take a look at this tweet, Governor Ron DeSantis has announced the state of Florida will be conducting on investigations into the assassination attempt on Trump. The Fed keep desperately trying to make you forget about what happened the first time in Butler. Okay, people don't trust the FB now. They had to retweet calling on Ron DeSantis to do a personal investigations into what is happening.
Today's apparent attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
I'm asking pastors and believers to come together to pray for this great nation. Our political process has no room for violence in it. I will say this and say it clearly. After the second assassination attempt, it is time for Christians, left and right, red or blue, black and white, to come together to pray for this nation, to pray for a political process without any violence. It is what America needs. We need all believers on their knees asking God for all candidates to be safe in the political process. God bless America. Get on our knees. It's time for us to pray.
Lester Hoyes here. Something recently happened to Trump. All he could think of is to say, oh, Trump did this, trying to blame everything on Trump. That is what this guy is doing here. The concern I've seen on social media pertaining to this recent case, Ukraine name is surfacing on Twitter like never before. I'll be waiting to update you on what exactly is going on because this might prolong to 1 month. We saw what happened the first time, how the whole situation turned out. Even till date, we don't really know what happened because all the investigations are not bringing out to clear the doubt in people's mind. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out my videos. If this is the first time you're watching me, God bless you. And please share out this video.
If I may, for just a quick moment. And you look at polls on X when they've done, I think Musk might have done one. I think there's a few of them. It's like 73% said they're voting for Trump.
Okay, yeah.
But you look on the polls that you see on television, Harris is ahead.
Yeah.
But like 3 points. But who the f- are they polling? This is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, look, in 2016, it wasn't accurate at all,
Yeah.
right? Because Hillary Clinton was like 84% to win.
And see her disguising.
No one is performing worse among blacks, among Hispanics, the worst performing Democrat in modern history among those demographics, worst performing polling wise among Jews. She is losing key factions of the Democratic base. Muslim voters, she's at under 50%, she's at 52% in the latest CAIR poll among black Muslims. She is not doing well.
For this
Kamala, she went for
Why would she do that?
This is why I say, we shouldn't demean Trump supporters. We shouldn't call them names.
Trump has come in the spin room, just so you know. That has happened.
Newly reported by NBC News, Vice President Kamala Harris has spoken recently and repeatedly with former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
You could not do in 4 years. It is insane to think that.
You really want Trump to lose this election, right? No, you don't, really?
So you have to have a controlled border, a secure border.
If you are over 18, please register to vote for something else that's very important coming up.
Look at this. She's only up by 15 points.
Caught Taylor Swift, as though I have that power. I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift.
Disconnected from the interests.
Of course, the big Valentine's story.